Shavua Tov, everybody. Welcome to the Israel Brief with me, Rolene Marks, brought to you as always by Lay of the Land. Now, this week is a short week. We will only be bringing you your headlines today and tomorrow as Israel and Jews all around the world start to welcome in Pesach, that is the festival of Passover, on a Wednesday. So we will all be frantically preparing, which in my house means frantically cooking to bring what we are bringing to the Seder that night. So let's take a look at what has happened over the weekend. And an estimated 450,000 Israelis continued protests across the country. This for a 13th straight week, despite the pause in the overhaul plans. An estimated 175 gathered in Tel Aviv. Now, a policeman was taken in today for questioning, or rather he was questioned about an incident where he was mounted on a horse. He was part of the mounted police division and he struck a protester. Also, over the weekend, Ben-Gvir's National Guard was approved by the cabinet. This was announced yesterday, and his budget request granted. Now, there are concerns in Israel whether or not this National Guard won't turn into some kind of militia. Ben-Gvir is on record over the last couple of weeks as clashing with police for not being hard enough against protesters. Protesters have vowed they will continue to step up weekly protests until the overhauls are removed completely. The President's office confirmed earlier today that representatives from both the coalition and the opposition were meeting at his residence for continued compromise talks. And just a short while ago, Prime Minister Netanyahu said that he will keep Yoav Gallant on as defense minister. He won't fire him, citing the security situation. Earlier today, the IDF shot down a unmanned vehicle or aircraft flying over Gaza. This was shot down by a IAF fighter jet. The unidentified aircraft was discovered by the IAF control room and as of yet posed no immediate threat to Israel and did not enter Israeli airspace. Yesterday on social media, Israel's special envoy for anti-Semitism and delegitimization, actress Noa Tishby, announced that she had been dismissed from her role. Now, the role was proposed by the former Prime Minister Yair Lapid and was an unpaid role, and saw Tishby really take on some of the harshest accusations against Jews and the State of Israel, and saw her appear on television shows like Bill Maher, go onto university campuses, and really be at the vanguard of fighting against anti-Semitism. Now, in a letter that explained it, she said that she couldn't quite say whether or not it was because she was a vocal critic of the proposed judicial overhauls, but it certainly gave her a sense that that was the case. Nevertheless, she has vowed that in the face of increased anti-Semitism around the world, she's going to continue doing her work without being part of an official portfolio. Tishby has been a very vocal critic of the judicial overhauls, even going so far as to call them an attempted coup, and published an article in the Hebrew version of Yediot Achronot. Tishby's dismissal has resulted in many Israel activists, especially young activists around the world, reacting in absolute outrage. And finally, because we need a positive story, and one I certainly can get my mouth around, and that is Israeli whiskey distillery Milk and Honey has won Best Single Draft, or Best Single Malt, rather, of the year. I must be dreaming of having a draft of single malt Milk and Honey. Now, this was in the World Drink Awards, and the distiller has said that it is Israel's climate that have contributed to this award-winning single malt. This is the 8th award that Milk and Honey whiskey has won. Israel is one of, I think, about 8 countries that are licensed to distill whiskies. There might be more, but the last I had it was at 8. Now, I say l'chaim to that, and I really need to see what the fuss is all about and have a wee dram myself. And that brings us to the end of today's headlines. Don't forget to check out our website at www.layoftheland.online. We've got a whole compendium of articles from the Arab world that you will only find on our website. They are up on our Facebook page at Lottel's site. Please join our growing community by liking us, following us, and sharing our content. Our YouTube channel is at the Israel Brief. You guys know what to do. Click that red subscribe button, like us, and share our content. And we're on Twitter at layoftheland5. I'm a croaky Rolene Marks with the Israel Brief. Join me again tomorrow as we take a look at your headlines before we head into Pesach.